whenever he's gonna switch the segment, he's gonna put his hand up to.
Welcome to Phobros, a Kill Team podcast presented by Florida United Kill Team and North Florida Kill Team. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Phobros Podcast. It is episode 19, aptly titled Here Comes Kyle, because here comes Kyle, our beautiful guest tonight. Obviously joined by George, the boy George. Give it up.
What's up, everybody? I'm George of Six Sided Paradise, and today we're also joined by my other PhoBro, Eric.
What up?
And of course, we're joined by our lovely guest, Kyle. Kyle, say what's up.
What's up, guys? My name's Kyle, if you didn't deduce that already.
Very true about that. We have said your name many times now. But you've heard of Kyle before. Regular listeners of the past few episodes, we've been talking about Kyle. Kyle was the breach point between Eric and I, which was, for me, was like my bridge to the greater Kill Team community. I've kind of said before, if Kyle and his lovely wife Adara hadn't walked into a Warhammer store in St. Augustine, I don't know if I would be sitting here even doing this podcast. So it's pretty cool. So it's very, very fine, I think, to have Kyle here tonight. And Kyle, he's not just anybody. Kyle is an infantry scout sniper. He's a war gamer. He is a dad of a really awesome 1-year-old boy that cries every time he sees me. And and Kyle plays not just Kill Team, but he plays pretty much every war game I can think of. And it's pretty cool to have him on here. We want to talk a lot about that tonight.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I think we have to. One thing that needs to be talked about. This isn't Kyle related, but recently I've been hearing a lot from the Kill Team Casuals crew about this slogan. Eric's slogan, actually. Trademarked by Eric, Wing the Bing Bong. And Ben Campbell at Kill Team Casuals is trying to say that it's not ours and that it's his. And I need the boys here to come together right now and just kind of confirm that it is indeed Eric's slogan for Wing the Bing Bong. George, let's hear it. Can you confirm?
That's the first time I've ever heard it was when Eric said it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's one witness. That's the thing. It's out of control.
The thing that there's a bit of confusion here because really Ben tried to coin Bing the Wing Bong, but Wing the Bing Bong just sounded so much better. So
it just flew off the tongue, right? He just
wants what Eric
retroactively.
has. That's what it comes
He's
down
trying to steal what I have.
Yeah. Eric has the goods, and Ben just wants it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, and also, like, can we blame him? It's a sick catchphrase. I mean, it seems like the kind of thing a guy would do who hangs out with a talking rat sock puppet. And makes a show.
I feel like I've never heard anyone say this. All the games you've ever played, I've never heard.
I actually love those videos he does. Those
I absolutely love them.
Writing. They have such a great intro and
no, it's like the most 90s. If you're a 90s kid, it's perfect, which most of us are. Ben is, so it's pretty. Those videos are great. Really, no shade to the videos, but the suspicions around the sock rat do continue for me.
Is it Ben? As the rat asshole? Like, is he doing both characters? Do you think he's being like a ventriloquist?
I don't know. For some reason, I have a feeling that Matt's on his knees holding the sock puppet.
Could be like Ben with his foot. You know?
Eric gave the look. No, it's definitely somebody. It's definitely Matt. It's definitely Matt on the floor, like doing it. In my opinion, I don't know. I haven't even seen the puppet in person, so when we go to Magnolia in a few weeks, I'm gonna make part of my mission for the weekend is to find the puppet, make the puppet disappear.
I've never actually seen a video with the puppet.
You know what we're talking about?
I do. I've just never watched it.
Okay, yeah. No, they're really
The
good.
videos are great. You should watch them.
Yeah, I think it's been the best content he's ever made, to be honest. Not only are they funny, but they're informative and they're great for anybody as you try to figure out. Like all three of the ones he's released have been so good.
And they're very like short and compact. They're like it's like just enough content.
Yep.
It's really good.
The song is sick. The editing's really good. It's very Ben coded, I feel like, throughout. Like if you know Ben pretty well, it's got his name all over it, obviously. But that's one thing to talk about though. Magnolia's coming up in a few weeks. And we're pretty excited about that. And Kyle is actually coming, which is really, really cool. He didn't make it to last year's, but that was right. Kyle, last year when Magnolia happened, that had to have been right around the time Philo was born, or no?
Yeah, so my son was just born, probably like a month or two in. So I was down for the count. There was no tournaments for me, especially if it was like a 2-day tournament. So I'm excited to be here this one. For sure.
Dude. No, we're excited to have you. It's going to be sick. All the boys are coming. We have other local guys from St. Augustine coming. Bruno's coming. The Miami crew will obviously be there. All the Tampa guys are going to be there. It's looking like it's going to be a hell of an event. Hey, George, what are you bringing? What are you playing? You're playing Space Wolves, right?
Yeah, I think I'm going to bring out the Scouts, the Wolf Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And we're missing Eric this year. That's notable. There'll be a lot. Eric took me there last year. That was my entry point, and then he's not going to be there this year. It's kind of sad.
I haven't missed one in a couple of years, actually.
Yeah, but he has a job.
No. It'd be like that.
It'd be like that. You should quit.
Yeah. What are you taking to Magnolia, Kyle?
I'm kind of conflicted. As you know, like I did a big project on a Kit Bash Wolf Scout team. I did like a Dark Angels, like Knights of the Caliban Forest, so like the Green Knights kind of thing. So I did a ton of work into that, and they're cool. And I played the team. I probably played like four games with them now, but I'm conflicted because I like the Raveners. So
Raveners are fun.
Probably the Wolf Scouts. Probably the Wolf Scouts, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, dude, the Wolf Scouts that you did are so
Raveners are in the back of my mind, so
you got to take them, dude. They're pretty dope.
I think they're probably my favorite Wolf Scout team I've seen.
Really? Wow, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, dude, no, they're so sick. You have the coolest wolf. His wolf has armor on.
Yeah, dude, I
I
don't
was
know.
like,
Yeah,
guys, can you make it where your camera can see him? The wolf has armor. It's so sick, and he has a little like he has like a little
I haven't
plebeian with him,
tried
a
it.
little hood, a little guy in robes. It's kind of like his
A
little
little squire.
his little squire.
Second.
Oh, it's so It's not gonna do it justice, but it is
It's not.
a really
It's
cool
not.
model.
There's a little squire right there.
I think it's notable that is to say that as soon as Kyle finished this team, probably the same day he finished putting them together and painting them and kit bashing them, I walked in his house and within 3 minutes broke the wolf.
You did. You broke the cloak right off the wolf, dude.
And then just picked him up and broke him. Broke the armor.
I played that was my first game, and Eric crushed me, and I was like, "Well, fuck this team, dude." But
that's okay.
It was better than that.
No, you've been grinding with them, dude. You've been grinding with the Wolf Scouts. You've been getting a lot better with them.
Yeah, me and Bruno played a lot of games mainly, and then Eric and I think played 1 or 2 games too. So not too much grinding, but I'm getting better with them slowly. It takes me a while to get used to teams. I'm not like a quick learner with teams, to be honest.
Well, 5 or 6 games at Magnolia are gonna definitely put you in the upswing. You walk out of that one like feeling pretty good about Kill Team.
Raveners are also sick though too. That is a tough decision.
Yeah, Raveners are sick. Yeah. I did put them on the title card for the episode because you love them so much.
They're just like such a different elite team. Like, and I feel like the elite teams that come out, they all got their flavor for sure. The Raveners are just different for an elite. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're unique. They're 5 giant bugs. No matter what team I'm playing, whenever somebody sets up across the table with Raveners, I'm always kind of like, God damn it! I hate dealing with them. They're always good.
I've had my toughest matchup with the Wolf Scouts were into Raveners so far. Well, no knock into into Diary, but those guys are hard. They're hard to beat.
Well,
yeah, I feel like it's like follow my tunnel, but then Wolf Scouts are like, we'll follow my storm.
Yeah, true. You just kind of you're maneuvering that around. I think in that matchup, I mean, Wolf Scouts have some tricks to stat check, but it's still hard. It's the
no. I think I definitely beat him in fighting. Like I think I still fight better than him, but it's tough because he could hide and get away out of combat and a lot of silent. So he does the sneaking around, if not better, just as good, if not just as good, better than me.
Yeah. So. No, yeah. I think too, like the only thing that's different now for you that's maybe better or worse, but you have to charge the Raveners. Like if you get charged and you're not minusing their attack dice, you're in for
they can fight first. That's rough.
Yeah.
It's just tough because you're going to get charged in Raveners. Like you got the ambusher and everything else, so like you're going to get counter charged or whatever. So it's like a charge v charge kind of game. I feel like.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna see a wide variety of teams at Magnolia, so that's gonna be cool. I mean, I already know there's confirmed like 3 or 4 people playing Murder Wing. Tomas is one of them. I think I'm gonna play Wreck a Crew because it's fun. I was gonna take Scout Squad, but Scout Squad is just. I know, but I would like to stand a chance to do well, and I just think if I play Scouts, I can have both. I can have the same amount of fun playing Rekkas as I'll play Scouts. As playing Scouts, like they're both very vibey teams, but Rekkas will just do better.
Since when did you have Rekkas, bro? When did this happen?
I have Rekkas from Acrylic Astartes. I think I've talked about this before. He's sent me the team, so they're going to be on.
And you never played it? Oh,
I never played it.
No. I see.
No, I'll get him before Magnolia. I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna borrow Drew's and play some reps this week. But I've played Rekkas before, so I feel like I know the shtick, but I'm not like, I mean, I'm also not super like veteran with Rekkas by any means. They do have a play style, so no matter what I do, it's gonna be a wing it and have fun kind of thing. I'm feeling. If you're not playing Murder Wing, I mean, what else are you doing? Just winging it.
Would you say that maybe it's a wing it, the Bing Bong?
Winging the binging bonger, as I said to Ben the other day.
Yeah.
He actually said that we could have that one. I guess he doesn't like it as much, but it's not nearly as cool.
I think he's just, yeah, it sounds very sexual in a bad way.
Winging the binging bonger?
Yeah. It doesn't.
Doesn't roll off the tongue right. But
no, it just doesn't even sound right.
You know, at least I'm not out here making AI content trying to prove that I trademarked this slogan when I didn't. So, Ben.
Zach is in the chat defending Ben, saying lies.
Zach saying lies.
Yeah, he says we're saying.
Zach, I'm so sorry, but there's nothing I can say to you. We own the slogan. But let's move us along. Love you, Zach. One thing we want to talk about tonight is, Kyle, with your military service, and I've always felt like there is a great correlation in the wargaming community. You meet a lot of active duty, you meet a lot of vets, retired military, whatever the situation is. There's always that natural connection between, military and law enforcement and wargaming. And you've done both military and law. And why don't you talk a little bit about that experience, how you got into wargaming through that, career experience, and talk about your career if you like as well.
Okay, yeah. I think Warhammer in general draws in a lot of vets. Like Eric's one of them. People may not know that, but law enforcement, first responder, the whole giant community, I feel like is drawn into tabletop wargaming in general. Like when I first started, it was D&D, actually, believe it or not, and I love D&D, but I also love like kind of the modeling aspect of it, collecting, building, painting, and it wasn't until I guess I should backtrack here a bit. So I joined the Army young. I was 18. Before then, all my hobbies were like physical, like surfing, boxing, sports like that. Like I played football when I was younger, but joined the Army, joined the infantry, went through quite a lot with my journey through that. And then I was injured on a deployment in Afghanistan and came back, and it was a knee surgery, and then down for the count for a little while. So like I obviously it was depressing, because if all your hobbies are physical and you can't do physical things, like what do you do, right? So I played video games a lot and got depressed a lot. And then, I bounced back and then kept going through my military career, got out of that, and then went law enforcement. And through this time, I was up to my 4th knee surgery, trying to fix the issues that kept compounding, I guess you could say. Like once you get an injury, knee injuries are kind of like, back injuries or whatever. Once you get one, you're probably going to get more if you keep up a pretty physical lifestyle, that's strenuous on the body. And so like at my 4th surgery, I like talked to my wife and stuff, and then just like kind of thinking about it. And it's like, I need to get a hobby that's maybe more on my creative side, or, whatever you want to call it. And so I liked D&D, but I never really like painted the models. But I was like, well, let me like paint models or something like that. I just thought of it. It's like I saw Warhammer like on social media or something. And so me and my wife went to the game store. I got my first box, which was actually, I'm more of a fantasy guy, believe it or not. So my first box was an AOS box.
Nice.
And
what did you choose?
Like I picked Sylvaneth, but then my wife picked Sylvaneth. She's like, I'm going to paint it with you. We're going to do this thing. But then she ended up kind of like bailing. And I was like,
Nice.
well, I'll pick your models. And so I picked Sylvaneth. Like, or Wood Elves if people aren't like familiar. Um, and started building and painting those. And it was kind of like a thing to do, like when, you know, if you've ever had an injury where like you can't do anything of like the physical things you love to do, like it helps you kind of like be at peace, at nighttime and stuff, and just kind of like zone out, like something that video games can't do, right? Like when you're painting, like if you're in like a deep painting session with your models, right? Like it feels different from then, like playing video games or watching TV. Is more of a piece to it. I feel
Oh
like,
yeah, and you get like a
and yeah,
productive kind of
yeah, it's
boost
a
out of
good
hobbying.
piece.
Like hobbying is a very
Mhm.
active thing that you're presently doing. I feel like, well, at least when I play video
Mhm.
games or watching TV, I don't know how like presently forward my mind is. It feels very like passive in a way.
Yeah, instead of numbing your mind, you're kind of like stimulating it,
Yeah.
with creativity. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh, this is kind of cool. And then I started getting into it, and I was just modeling for like the longest time. And I just got out of law enforcement actually. This was like, so I did like a little over 4 years in the army, and then I did 3 years law enforcement. And then right when I got out of all of that was when I was like, I need to kind of find something different. Um, like I love my physical stuff, I love surfing and all that, but I needed something. I don't know how to just like how to put words into it, but like something to have a community, but also, yeah, getting spark up that creativity mindset and just kind of chill out a little bit.
And then you get the
So
social aspect too, which is always good.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But as much as you want, but you can also chill as much as you want.
Yeah.
That's the coolest
Yeah, you
part
don't
about
have to
it. Like
engage at the game
there's
store
there's
or with
so
people.
many
It's one of
angles.
those things.
Yeah, there's so many angles to the hobby that I was like, so for the longest time I was just painting and building, and then I started playing like AOS and Middle Earth, in um, the Middle Earth strategy battle game uh, at St. Augustine, the Warhammer store, and played with some guys there that I met, and then yeah, slowly like kind of fell into Kill Team. Like 40K was always cool because it was like it's fantasy, but it's not. Like,
Yeah.
like you have your wizards, but let's just call them psychers. You have your crazy swords and flails and shields, but let's call them power weapons, like so it was like a cool little like step into like, sci-fi. And then yeah, so like I got into 40K pretty easy because I was interested. And then Kill Team was like one of the things where I kind of just fell into it. And then Eric was one of the dudes that taught me Kill Team, believe it or not. So my first team was Blooded, and I played Eric, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll teach you, man," because I met him at the game store just like I met you. Um, and he was like, "Yeah, you can play my Angels of Death." And so I obviously lost really bad, but it was a great learning experience. And yeah, and I still like Blooded a lot, but that's kind of the story of how I got into Warhammer,
Yeah.
specifically Kill Team.
That's cool.
Awesome.
And do you feel like there's a lot of like military community guys that you know that also kind of gravitated towards it? I feel like it goes together just for the fact of the matter that it is a strategy battle game. It seems like natural for anyone that's been in service like that to kind of gravitate towards that.
Yeah, like I know one guy. He was actually my platoon. I served with him. He was a fellow sniper, and he lives in Jacksonville, believe it or not. But
Hmm.
yeah, he's interested too. Like he was always into like the 40K novels and stuff, like the Horus Heresy
Mhm.
novels, and but like never played the game. So it's like that's one guy that like, oh, I'll teach you Kill Team if you want, kind of thing. So pay it forward. But everyone's always kind of interested. I met a lot of guys who are kind of nerdy in the military, um, but there's not too many that have the time to play while you're active. Because it's just a lifestyle. You're just grinding, dude. Like it's just, nonstop. So
And then
to
there's
really
like
get
a
into playing,
threshold of like getting through like painting and doing all the extra stuff that kind of goes with it, where it is not the simplest hobby to get into. But one thing that I remember, this is actually at Magnolia last year. I don't know if Eric and George remember this, but at the end of the Magnolia tournament last year, when Ben was wrapping up, and I think they were doing prize support or whatever, and he said something along the lines that I've always remembered this. Said this statement like, I'm gonna say it wrong, but I'm gonna try to like paraphrase it. He was just like, "It's hard enough to make friends as an adult male, and how cool it is to get 40 of you guys all together in the same room, like playing this and making like real good connections and bonds." Which I think is part aspect of the hobby that for me, like I've made so many friends through this, and it can be challenging, I think, as adult dudes to like make like endearing, connected friendships with people, that if you don't have a shared interest, and even if you do, maybe. But this is one of those hobbies where like it's kind of hard to do this with people and not develop friendships. I feel like, and that's where like I think a lot of connection and like brotherhood and community comes from with this, because it is just like childlike fun for a bunch of adult dudes.
for
Yeah.
sure. And I feel like that's kind of lost nowadays. Like, like it's more online, at least, it's more digital. And yeah, you got TTS and you got other ways you can enjoy the hobby that are less like in person, but nothing beats like going and bringing your models that you take pride in and like, I fucking painted this and like blah blah blah, kit bash, whatever. And like then you go and like play with a buddy or a new person and like just, shoot the shit, get to know them, and just play again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
No,
think
that's
that's the
the
part.
beauty of this. I mean, that's where like I think the heart of it lies. And I guess with any hobby, but with this one for sure, I feel like, you know, with Kill Team, it's just fun. You get together any of these games, you're just getting together with your boys, and that is the core thing that I think sometimes in the Kill Team community, I think we get so sweaty. Maybe we forget that sometimes. I think maybe we should remember that more. But it's also easy to get sweaty and competitive even with your friends. But I think that is a cool thing.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
What, getting sweaty with your friends?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Everyone's had the grudge
mhm.
match with their buddy, but it just happens. It happens in every game though, because Eric and I, like, we had that, and we still play it, but we had our little side quest into Legion, and even when we were playing that, like that one, I think Eric, like, I you see what you say, but that one I feel like it was a little less sweaty. Like we still had some like hardcore games at my counter, but it wasn't naturally, that game
Yeah,
isn't as sweaty as Kill Team.
I didn't understand the math of that game at that time.
Right.
And like
It was frustrating.
yeah, like that game's really swingy.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I've just kind of learned how that game works
You would
now. And also
roll like
the
you would roll dice, and just like the dice in that game just kind of suck. It's just how
yeah,
it works.
sometimes yeah, and really you kind of like it's interesting you have to play it in the 1K format. I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah, we were playing
you
recon.
you can you can mess around. I feel like if you play at 600, you got to do like be like intentionally goofy with it
Right.
because it's just not it's just really uh swingy feeling. It just takes like one roll going one way or the other, and then it's like, oh well, that's like 20% of the board
Yep.
gone. So just good luck with that. You're like, oh yeah. So,
It's like, oh,
but
sick.
yeah, no, I got tilted. Just to clarify for anyone, I got tilted as fuck like 2 times.
He
That's
did, but
what he's
like he was
talking
respectful about it.
about.
It was more just like him just being like,
Yeah, I mean after
across from my counter.
I was like, well, no, it would get to the point I'd be like, okay, I can't just like stop shooting you. Like you have to fail a save. He has a 5-up save, right? I'm like, you have to fail a save eventually. So like
No, I
I'm
just
just
keep rolling
gonna,
saves.
I just yeah, I'm like
And Eric, I have to say, Eric has
yeah.
at that point, Eric has beaten me so badly in kill team so many times that I was relishing these moments for myself
Oh
from
yeah, he
just
loved it.
watching him sit in
He
that
loved it.
chair across from me,
Yeah,
and I'm
this
just whipping him with my great dice.
That
yeah,
was like
this
when Eric was trying to learn Chaos Cults, and I was just murdering him with different teams. And I was like, "This is
Yo.
cool."
This is so funny.
You
We
want to
should
try
do this all the
Raveners?
time.
You want to try Raveners? You want to try?
Just
We
set him
should
up for
just
That's
failure.
If you
so
want to
Just
run it back,
funny.
get
we
your
should just run it back.
once a quarter win against him.
This is the new rule. Every tournament now in Florida, and when Eric comes, he has to play Chaos Cults.
Okay.
We'll see what
Well,
happens.
I need to start painting them up, dude.
Valid.
They're
I
sick
need to start
models,
painting
dude.
them up.
There's a lot
They
of
are
models.
cool.
The models are cool
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that team though. They have some of the best sculpts.
Yeah, very flavorful.
I like the team. I just don't know if I like them competitively. But they're good. I just haven't figured them out. I'm just
They're
kind of,
such a unique play style. They're one of those kind of like skew teams. I feel like you have to play a certain way against them, and they play a certain way into a bunch of different matchups.
They're
I
pretty
don't
weird.
know.
That's why I want to hamstring Eric
Yeah.
though. Just hamstring him. Don't let him play Ruckus.
Yeah,
I
I
thought it was
don't
good
know
fun.
when to run for like one tournament turn 2 or 2 tournaments turn 3. I don't know when to do that. I feel like a good cold player like knows that. I don't know that.
Nice.
That's like a big decision I think you're making on that team, and I just don't understand like when to not just make 2 giant monsters for the end of the game. You know, that's what I want to do every time. Just be like, well, turn 3, I'll just go crazy.
Yeah, I have never
It's
sat
weird
across
because you have
from
to.
a good cults player and like I've never been like culted. No one's ever just like whooped my ass with chaos cults. But
You also were playing Phobos, and they just like run down the board and just eviscerate all the cultists
I
before they
played
become the
them with
monster.
scouts once too, and it was similar, but not as easy. But I had enough stuff in my back line to just blow up the monsters. But yeah, no, you're right. I rarely run into a guy that's like. I'm not speaking about your playing as cults. I'm just saying like in the wider community, I've never.
He
What do you say?
He is talking about me playing cults though.
I beat
He's
him
like not
one time. He was
specifically
playing cults,
you.
and I just Phobos
He's like
him,
not
and he knew it
specifically,
was gonna
just
happen.
in general. Just in general, with you included. You're trash. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's not what I was saying. I'm just saying that in general, I haven't played at a tournament, had some guy sit down across from me and be like, I am a hardcore cults player. It's the only team I play. Like, you know, you get those people that they only play one team. I've never had that with cults.
Now you're just like backpedaling, dude. You know, it's
Whatever.
okay that I'm trash at
Whatever.
cults. Like, you don't
My
have to
my
dance. You
win
don't have to
against you
dance
with
around
cults
it.
was deserved. I was at a low point, I think, that night as well. I don't think I was feeling the best about myself. I needed that win.
Yeah, you needed to just. Oh yeah, yep.
There's
All
plenty of
good,
games
man.
you can talk shit about beating me, Eric. So I'm just saying flat out, like, I'm talking shit.
That's
Oh, yeah,
fair. That's fair.
I played a guy in TTS tonight, really nice guy named George, from Toronto. He went to Worlds last year, and I was trying to explain to him what we do on here, and that was just kind of it. I was like, yeah, it's just kind of a lot of shit talking, and there's some competitive conversation, but it's mostly just shit.
Yeah.
We're just subjectively shooting it.
3 to 4 guys just shooting shit for an hour.
Yeah, 3 to 4 is the perfect way to describe it, George. Actually, it's like it's either 3, 2, 4. You know, good thing you guessed it.
I think, at least within our group, I feel like we have good like after action reports. Like we'll play a game, and even if we get sweaty or whatever, it's still like a good time, and we're all buddies, whatever. But like we'll like talk about it afterwards, like, oh man, like that was bullshit, but I feel like I should have done this, and that would have changed things, and then they'll like
Yeah.
give you their thought on it, like, well, as your opponent, like this is what I kind of saw and what I would have done. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when you're like, oh, I actually really liked when you do this because that, that was basically a blunder, right? That let me do this move that, right? Like stuff like that.
Yeah,
Or
like I did that blunder, but here was my contingency plan. Like I was actually
yeah,
thinking about doing this for plan B. And you're like, well, I was actually thinking about blocking that plan B with this.
mhm,
And so, oh, well, okay.
yeah.
So I picked
And
the
then
right thing. Blocking it, whatever.
yeah, and I think it's important to remember like sometimes something fails. Like sometimes something doesn't work, but like if you can look back on it and be like, well, I actually did the best thing I could with like a high mathematical chance. So even though it didn't work, like I should do that again.
Mm.
I just, you know what I mean? Because things pass and fail in this game. That's just how
Yeah,
it
but
works, you know?
math is lame though. Sometimes you just want to send it.
Good old Initiative Casino, my friend. The finest casino in all the land.
We use that one a lot too. But
You can
keeps
win it
throwing me back
all. You can win it all. Put it all on black, baby. Put it all on black. Let's go. Yeah,
I had an
fun
opponent
stuff.
also tonight. He re-rolled turn 1 to make himself lose the roll to then get the +1.
Hmm.
It was a new one for me.
That's
It's interesting. He wanted to collect all the cards. He basically did. He collected all the cards the whole game.
Reroll's pretty strong though.
Yeah, we both rolled a 6
Yeah.
for turn 1, and he was like, "I have 5 chances to make sure I get a +1." He took it. It was interesting.
Yeah, no one wants turn 1.
A
Well, it did
reroll
work
for
in
a
his favor because
+1 though.
he did end up using all of his little plus cards, and he got initiative the rest of the game.
Did you win, son?
What did he say?
Did you win,
No,
son?
I lost.
Hmm.
He was really good. He was playing Battleclade, and
You
just
have brought shame to your family.
yes,
With the wing, the bing bong.
stab myself in the stomach with a Japanese sword now. I have no honor. Did
Yeah.
he wing the bing bong? No.
No.
I mean, I winged the bing bong at him. I was playing Felgor. But it was like, it was a
Mm.
war. I was going to share for a play of the week that it was just the most boring game ever because lovely opponent, super nice guy, but it was like the war of attrition. Nothing happened until almost the bulk of the action happened in turn 4. So cagey. Battleclade versus
Who you
Felgor
playing?
on
Wow.
2 world. There's 4 light barricades and razor wire, and just we're both end up playing retrieval. It was ungodly.
Sick. What a
It was fun though because it was
sick.
very much like you do this and I do this to counter you, and now we can't do anything. So we kept doing that until eventually we were close enough to each other in turn 4 to explode onto each other. But man, dude, servitors with Torrent 2 with their network actions, just flaming goats, just pretty powerful stuff.
Just exploding onto each other.
Yeah.
You
Lots
know,
of phallic references coming out of me these days.
that's what I was saying, dude.
Something just ain't right with me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little,
I don't want
you
to
know,
be here anymore.
just a couple of dudes exploding on each
Just a
other,
couple of dudes. Yeah, we were supposed to. Initially, we were having
winging their bongs.
winging their binging bonger. How many
Bongers,
euphemisms
yeah,
can we make?
winging their
What?
bongers. See, yeah, you get what I'm saying now? You get what I'm
Winging their
saying? This
binging bonger.
little, yeah,
Please do
that
not use
doesn't sound
that for the
okay.
short. Do not use that for the short of this week's episode. Please, please, please.
Yeah,
Hey, it's
No
late,
bing
okay?
bongs.
My brain
Bing and bong.
is on hyper comedic ridiculousness mode.
That's what happens when you play Battlecade. Jesus Christ.
Blablo.
They got to.
Yeah, 5 times fast.
so Battleclade, how do you think we put him in the right place in the tier list?
Yeah, I think they're good. And my opponent said he felt the same way. That's why he was playing them, because he felt like they were an underrated team, and they needed, obviously not like top of A tier, but especially on 2 world, I think you're dealing with a lot with that team. I mean, they put a gun servitor on guard in each room. They leave other guys on engage, especially if you're playing a team that doesn't shoot you back, except for like maybe a pistol or a stun. But for the most part, I'm not shooting you with Felgor, so you can just kind of leave guys unengaged for your network actions. There's a lot of shots. I think the most important thing though that they changed for that team in the most recent data slate was on the network actions. Now they can move 2 inches, and they are a slow team to begin with. That's pretty big.
So they're creeping up.
It came into effect a lot in our
Doing. Yeah, that's
The
pretty.
double
That's
shoot
actually.
isn't it like
Oh
a double
yeah.
shoot or something like with their servitors?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
can
can
shoot
like
twice because they can shoot on their
immediately.
activation,
Yeah.
and then someone else can like network action
Yeah,
counteract, command them to shoot
yeah.
again. They have a Melta. Um, they have the gun
It's
servitors are
wild
very good.
playing that in your team, not telling your opponent about that, and then being like I played Nimclaw at a tournament, and then I played that team first time ever. Didn't know anything about it because they just came out at the time, and um, dude I was playing was super nice, super cool, and like I think he explained it to me, but like when you're like talking things over in the beginning, and like I'm kind of focused on like what attack op should I pick, and I'm like so my mind is not like comprehending what they're saying. I think he
Yeah.
told me, and I told him it's like fucking woo right over my head. But yeah, like I ran into a room with my lightning claw dude right after like the melta gun dude went, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna never like activate him to shoot your nim claw dude wide in the like in the open," and I was like, "Yeah, he went already. What are you talking about?" And it was that like I guess the protocol thing or something, but yeah, dude, I
Oh
got
yeah,
like
he just
straight melted
networked
off.
action counteracted you and shot you again.
I literally just like lost like two Nimclaw dudes by the end of round two.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's one
yeah,
of those teams too where like they have all these tricks, like what you just kind of described, and it's very niche. So it's like if you don't see them a lot, and then when you play someone that has practice and knows what they're doing with the team, and like very similar to what you played against and what I played tonight, it's challenging because you get gotcha no matter what. I think the leader being able to do an action like a full reposition action, or like he had his leader bust down a wall in the strat phase tonight, breach a wall, and then one initiative and then shot me through the wall. Like stuff like that. It's pretty powerful stuff.
yeah. I think one of the it's not as well said, but like I think in Kill Team to be competitive, what they don't say is you need to learn every team that's out there, and if you're going to a tournament, you need to like study like all the factionals for every team and learn every team.
You just gotta play a
At least
shitload of games, dude. That's the
I
only
get a
way.
lot of
you're
I
right.
don't,
yeah.
yeah, I don't think you
I
can
don't
even
play
read
enough.
them and
I don't play
understand.
enough games, but yeah. But
If
like,
I
you
think like
memorize
going
it,
to
it'll be a
tournaments,
lot.
like if you go to a lot of tournaments, you get a lot of good feedback because usually at tournaments, you end up playing teams that you don't play normally, and you get to play a lot of games in a day or 2 day span. Then you would normally get like a game in a day or in a week or a game in every 2 weeks. But at an event, you get to play a lot of games and play a lot of teams you
yeah,
probably never ever ever played.
true.
Yep. It's tough. But I think what I found is like I still don't know everything. I still don't know everything about every team, but I have like
Of course.
I have a very like surface level knowledge of like every team now, to the point that when I sit down to play, a couple questions I ask my opponent, and I'll at least know all the gotchas. It's impossible to know everything. You're not going to know every equipment choice they have. You're not going to know every single strategy and Firefly employs, but you'll remember the core things about a team. Like you'll remember
Yeah.
that like Space Marine scouts can put down 2 Seek tokens, and shut down the board for 2 turns after you've played them, because that's a big thing. You'll remember that Raveners can tunnel and do the weird tunnel actions. Like I think you get this like you just want to have that core thing. What's each team do that makes it kind of special and threatening, and then from there you kind of piece the rest out. But Kyle and I were on the phone earlier today, just chatting, and he had brought up an interesting point that I thought was pretty valid, which is he said that Kill Team almost now, with how strict and tight and defined everything is, and how many gotchas there are, and how much you have to know that it almost would work better as a video game, as like a match play video game, which I actually agree with. I felt that way sometimes too, and not like a TTS video game, but one where like it's almost like for it to be completely fair, you need a third party knowledge system, whether that in a real game, whether that's someone like a TO sitting at every board, or in a video game, you'd kind of have the AI that, kind of conducts everything where you can't do these things or you have the full knowledge. I think that's a pretty interesting take.
Yeah.
I feel like there's gotchas to gotchas sometimes with
Yeah.
certain rules, right? So you need to read the rules over to be like, all right, who overrides the other? And then sometimes, like, I feel like every tournament now is a 2 hour game. Sometimes that's a little tight to fit that in. So
It can be.
and
And that's kind
POs
of where the
can't
tournament
be
thing comes from. It's kind of like chess, where you're doing the Swiss tournament, and then part of the competition is being able to play and make decisions quickly. Which, yeah, that is still a little annoying. But I did like the take that like Kill Team would function really well if GW took it and made it like an XCOM situation with like match play. I think it would work really well. I think another thing that for me with Kill Team, and I love the game, but I just been talking to Ben and Eric yesterday actually. I'm just saying like, I kind of I don't know, every 6 months or so, I have these like very micro Kill Team ego deaths, I guess. And what I mean by that is not anything to do with my playing or how good I am at the game. It's more about just the game as a whole, where I'm just like, I get a little burnt out on it with the way things work in the game. And it's never anything specific that happens, but it's more just like, it's usually just the meta and the way GW orchestrates the game. I think can be very frustrating. That I also think would be better for a video game setting, because the thing is for me, and this isn't for everybody, but I think Kyle can probably relate to this, and George, you can relate as well. As a parent with working usually 50 hours a week, and being a parent, I don't want to paint a new team every month. I don't want to keep up with the meta, to be honest. I don't care to keep up with the meta. Half the teams that come out, I'm just like, ugh, whatever. I just don't care. I would like, and I know it's hard, but I would just like if we could have the meta just be more balanced. I mean, I'm sure that's what everybody says. I know we have to have the top dogs in the meta, and they have to release new teams to drive sales and yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, that's why I think it could be a great video game, because then instead of having to buy, build, model, paint a new team every 2 months, it just gets released as like an update. You just play it. And again, obviously you would still be playing Kill Team in person, even if it was a game. But I think it's an interesting thing, because that's one of the things that really burns me out, is like the cycle of Kill Team. I don't know. How do you feel about that, George?
Essentially, initially when the news came out that they were going to start rotating teams and having it classified and all that, I felt that was like the overwhelming feeling I got, which was the same feeling where it's like, man, you spent all this time and money on these teams and playing games with them for them just to get phased out of competitive play. But I think Eric made a good point in a group chat that we're in. Even though the teams are phased out, at most events you could run whatever team you want.
Yeah.
It's only at like the bigger GW events where they're gonna be like, hey, you can't play that team. But if you want play your Phobos, bro, nobody's gonna care. Bring your vet guard. Have a good time with your 14 bodies.
But I think the difference is you want to know that you could take that team to the big GT that you want to try to win the golden ticket at, and have that team, one, be allowed to play, and two, still be good because you love it that much, or because that's the team you spent all this time painting. And honestly, like, I don't know, for me, dude, like, if you think about it, I think these teams are they're on a 2-year cycle before they're phased out, right?
Something like that.
So
Yeah. Now
if you think about it, like, that's a little rough in a way, because if you think about it in terms of like any other strategy war game, there is no 2-year cycle in which your models become obsolete at legal events. That doesn't happen.
There's some there.
I mean, there
Like,
may be some, but
some.
for the most part, I mean, you'd still be able to use your Blood Angels army. Maybe you lost like a unit because they didn't bring it into the new edition, but it's tough with Kill Team because it's a smaller thing, but I guess a good point too, because Kyle had mentioned this as well, and I'm just now getting into it as an adult, is a great example of a game that works really well and that's balanced and doesn't take constant updates and isn't driven by a meta, and a game where most of the armies available can do well competitively is Middle Earth. And if you look that up online and simply just type in, I typed this in the other day because people kept saying it to me. Just type in on Google, why is Middle Earth strategy battle game considered to be the best Warhammer game? And then there's just like article after article after article and like Reddit post and YouTube video of people explaining why that is and why it's not only the best rule set, but it's the most fun, it's the best community, is what I keep reading. And I haven't even played the game yet, but this is just like initial kind of hype chain kind of stuff where I was, but also it's exciting to hear because you, large in part, save for a few army lists, you can kind of play most armies that are, and there's widely available armies to choose from in that game, and they all can do very well at tournaments.
When you went to Nova,
strategy and positioning, and Kyle can talk more about it. He's played the game.
When you went to Nova, Cameron, you didn't go to the Middle Earth room?
Oh, I did. Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah, because the boards that they have at Nova are just ridiculous.
Dude, it's a very cool game. It's a game that like I had all the models when I was like between the ages of like 8 and 12. Was around the time, like basically when Return of the King came out in 2005. I didn't buy them. My parents bought me a ton of the models, and I didn't play the game. They were literally my toy soldiers. Like me and my dad built them. That was my first Warhammer product ever. Was Middle Earth, and it was, my dad got me a bunch of them for Christmas. We had the Oliphants, we had all the Gondor models, we had the Rohan models, like we had the orcs, Mordor, we had Uruk-hai. I think we had literally everything. Like my dad he was also into it. He went pretty hard. It kind of bought almost the whole range. And me and him spent like the whole entire Christmas break like building and painting these things, and then I just like played with them. Like I didn't play the game, like they were just my toys. And then he even like went as far, like really cool dad move here, he went as far and he sculpted out of foam a Helm's Deep for me and my friends out of that pink hard foam that people use to sculpt. So we had a whole entire Helm's Deep in the basement. It never got painted, but we had it sculpted out, and we would just set up battle after battle after battle and just like have fun. That was kind of my introduction to all of this. Later in life I started playing the games, but it was a very cool thing. So then as an adult now to come back to it, I'm like, oh, like this is actually such a cool thing. Why did I not think about playing Middle Earth sooner?
Yeah, Middle Earth I love. Like that was one of my first games. Like it was AOS, and then met a buddy Julian at St. Augustine. I still play Middle Earth with him. And for what was it, Christmas or something, my wife got me the Muma, so like the war elephant model, right? I thought that was so sick, and I was like, I like the aspect of garrisoning models, like on a moving platform kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the way the rules worked in Middle Earth, I thought worked very well for that. Like if you actually look into the rules for that. And then there's a lot of flavor rules with it, like we were discussing with like if you get an arrow shot or whatever, if you get a wound on the Moomok, like there's a chance it could rampage and charge some like in a different direction kind of thing, and like totally ruin your front line of what you have set up. And there was just so many rules to it that were like they were realistic, I guess, in a way, but flavorful. And with Middle Earth, it's like what you see is what you get too, which I also like. It's not like these weird fucking rules where it's like, hold on, let me read that again. That's weird, like the way they word it, which everyone knows GW is notorious for that. But
when I read about it too, it said there wasn't I think this exists now. Apparently, the new edition they introduced some level of like really good army lists that seem to do better than others, but for the most part, it's still pretty balanced. But that you don't really deal with like a ton of like stat checking, where it's one of those games where you can kind of sit down across from your opponent and you both stand to do well based on who strategizes better, which is a cool thing. And I think Kill Team, large and in part, is a lot like that. I think you can actually win any game of Kill Team with the right strategy, even if your team is just so much worse than the other one, but it's just a lot harder in a game like Kill Team, I think, with how powerful some of these teams are versus, also Kill Team has some really weird stuff that you can cheese to win the game in your favor, inside outside shots and things like that. And, we've all dealt with it. We've all been there and been frustrated, but yeah, I think that's a cool thing.
For sure. Yeah, that's my army game, and then my skirmish game is obviously Kill Team. So
Yeah,
I think those are the best two GW games in my opinion. But
that's yeah,
just me.
I've heard the same thing. The Kill Team is the tightest rules and most competitive one-on-one play, and then Middle Earth is just, a lot of people to say it's the best overall game they've made. They haven't really changed the rules much over the years, which is a testament to a game.
Yeah, they haven't. Yeah.
So, well, we're
Yeah,
coming
there's
up to an
not
hour here, boys. I have no play of the week for this week. Do we have any plays of the week?
No, sir. I have not
Man,
played Kill
and we
Team
lost
in a
George. What
while.
happened to him?
Yeah, I'm kind of cutting it on time. So
Okay. Well, we'll think this is a good sign to wrap up. I mean, we didn't have anything crazy planned. We didn't even plan a That's Heresy Brother for this week. This episode was all about introducing Kyle to our humans out there because he's an important guy, and he definitely needed to be on this podcast with us, hanging out. Because, like I said, I don't think I'd be here without him. So super cool. But yeah, let's give it a wrap then, boys. You heard it here first. Wing the Bing Bong belongs to the Phobros Podcast. It does not belong to Kill Team Casuals. And if Ben would like, final offer for Ben, catch it right here. If Ben would like the rights to Wing the Bing Bong, he can trade us the sock rat for it. So we will happily take the sock rat in return for the catchphrase. Eric, you agree? You'll take the sock?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it. I'd rather him just stick with Bing the Wing Bong and just have some integrity, right?
Yeah.
But it's cool. I'm welcome to compromise.
He's ready to compromise, but only for the sock rat, the original. We don't want any replicas. We want the original rat.
Fully organic, no GMOs.
None at all. 100% cotton.
None.
Unwatched.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, this is the Phobros, episode 19. Here comes Kyle. Here comes the Phobros. Hallelujah. Good night.
later, everybody.